Man, well, we're here. I forgot to press this again. Oops.
Look at that guy. That's
guy.
a handsome Viking right there.
Biggest fucking week in the winter ever.
Massive week for us.
Massive week. We are going to be touching on Ipswich and all kinds of great shit that happened over the week. Until we do that, welcome to Snobby Boys! All right, everybody, welcome to the Snobby Boy Podcast. I'm your host, Colby. That's my homeboy, Joe, right there. I did it on the first try, guys. I did it on the first try. Yes. Welcome to everybody in here this evening. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bells. Stay up to date with us. Make sure that you're following us on social media so you know when the fuck we're going on. Ryan Stewart. Every fucking Wednesday and Sunday. Cool. I just want to first throw out there, I made a little boo-boo before we left last episode stating that Kelly Kelkster, as many of you may know her on social media, was supposed to be on, or I said she was going to be on today. In fact, she's going to be on next Sunday, so be on the lookout for that. Also, if you didn't already see, that thing right there, it's brand new.
Oh, by the way.
We did it.
There.
Yep. 2025, new look, new Crest, same Snobs. For sure. All right, Joe, what do we get into tonight, bro?
Tonight, we will be reviewing the Ipswich match. 6-0 W for us. Big time win. Much needed result for us. So we're going to dive into that. Key moments. Little starting 11 discussion, thoughts, feelings, emotions, watching said match today. Then, after halftime, we will dive into some of the city and community news that have popped up over the last couple of days since we were last on Wednesday evening. Some big-time news dropped Friday when we woke up that we will be discussing ad nauseum.
Yes.
And then we'll wrap up with some bro talk. Hopefully you guys hang around until that point and just kind of engage with us a little bit, ask us some questions, talk with us, banter a little bit back and forth. We know George loves his banter.
Yes, he does. Formerly of bit of banter. Hopefully, I want to see them boys back, man. It's been a little weird not having George and I'm having Greg and I'm having a brain fart right now.
Patrick.
Fuck me. It's been one of those days. I'm sorry. Listen, it snowed here like I've never seen snow fall quite the way that it did unless it was a full-on blizzard. So it's been quite an afternoon. Not only that, but I burnt the hot chocolate. I'll tell you guys about that later. Gosh darn it.
Yes.
He's
that guy.
He's whatever.
Chad, what up? Playing, what up, man? Yeah. With that comment, my friend.
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, let's jump into it, man. 6-0 thrashing, got a clean sheet. Saw a few changes in the starting lineup. First and foremost, Ruben Diaz was back in at center back. Huge get to get him back in the lineup. Ederson was returned. to his spot between the posts. He was back in at keeper today. And then Savino gets dropped. Doku's back in. Phil kept his spot. Kevin kept his spot. Holland back in. Gundo, a little surprising. Had a little bit of
lot surprising.
little bit of
Gundo of old, isn't it?
An aging triangle there in the midfield with Kev, Gundo, and Kova. And then Nunez again getting the start at right back over one Rico Lewis. Rico did come on later in the match, but last few games Nunez has been first choice at the right back right now. So real interesting that he is the one getting a little bit more minutes. We kind of talked about Rico a little bit in past pods that he hadn't been looking as strong as he had at the beginning of the season, and that he wasn't at this point a player that should be starting match in, match out. So it's nice to see Nunez continue to get some run there. I think he's got good qualities that could help us with Kyle not being available. And until all of our center backs are healthy, we really can't afford to have Akanji out there on the right side because we need him at one of the two center back spots. And Johnny isn't ready yet to play those kind of minutes out wide either. So Nunez seems to be the guy. When you saw the starting lineup, Colby, drop, what was the initial reaction, first thoughts?
Initial reaction, seeing Ruben back in the lineup. Yes, he was a difference maker. But as it has been going on over the course of the last almost 20 weeks, it's been rinse and repeat as far as injuries go. So I was very concerned that throwing him back in after just mending was going to re-aggravate whatever is ailing him. So that was my big concern right off the bat. Obviously, a very aged midfield was scary. No, I mean, I don't think there was anybody out there in their right city mind that wasn't like, fuck, this is not going to be good. Especially the midfield. Because, I mean, without the midfield, you don't have an attack. And if you can't... Look, I'll just say this. I'm not going to sit here and say all the things that we couldn't have done or whatever. Like, the fact that we made it work today and it felt almost as if this was like City from 2 years ago. That's what the midfield looked like, and they all performed as such. So I was actually very surprised in that. As far as our attacking players, I saw no surprise in that. I think Savino definitely deserved the break. Maybe Doku trained a little harder in the past week, which is all fine and good. I'm fine with that. Rotation is what this club is built on. If we're not rotating, we're overworking players and we're putting ourselves into a position where we are not as effective or efficient as we have been in the past. So, yeah, that's my initial analysis going in. Also, Ortega not getting the start, Eddie getting in. There's a lot of people that I saw through the comments and posts on X and such. Obviously, Ruben was a massive difference maker coming in. But then also the fact that Ortega has had such a good run, and now you're throwing Eddie in. A lot of people are saying that Eddie was also a factor in the fact that he brings a certain je ne sais quoi or presence into the fold whenever he's in. So I think having veteran players, regardless of the fact, within the squad, people who know and are comfortable in taking leadership, it really helps and spreads like a cancer throughout the whole entire squad. So I digress on that point. Joe, what did you think about it?
I was excited to see Doku back in. Prior to, he has had some very good games recently, and kind of what you mentioned with maybe Doku trained a little harder. That's the beautiful part about the competition and getting guys back healthy. Doku was seeing Savino cooking, bagging some goals, providing some assists, creating lots of chances, and he's like, you know what? If I want to get my spot back and I want to get back in the starting 11, I got to work a little harder in training, and I got to show Pep that I'm ready. And he's probably exactly what happened. And of course, Savino has played a lot for us. He's one of the few guys that we've had healthy on a regular basis. So he obviously wouldn't probably need a break. We got back into Champions League games the next 2 Wednesdays. So we will be playing every 3 or 4 days again. So rotation is bound to happen. But that's the beautiful thing about the competition. You start getting guys back healthy. Guys are working harder in training. They're competing. And then that you just see a level of play improve. You practice, you play how you practice. You know what I mean? If you're going to practice shitty and go through the motions, generally, that's the performance you're going to see on the pitch. If you practice well and practice hard, that typically translates on game day. So when we have you guys competing for places and minutes, that's only that's the best thing that you could hope for in this situation. And we're starting to get that again. The first 2 things I noticed too was Eddie was back in, and Ruben was back into the starting 11, and played the entire 90, and having it looked more like City for the entirety of the match. We had Ederson in the back playing ball, playing with his feet, helping in the build up. You got Ruben in the middle. You got Kevin, Phil, Holland up top. That looked more like the City that we've grown to love and expect at this point. So it's crazy. Dude, that's exactly what, after the throttling against Salford, just seeing the happiness, the smiles, the joy on the players' faces again, that was humongous. And then seeing that again today, that confidence, that happiness, those good vibes will carry over and continue carrying over. And we need that right now. This is a time of year where we typically get our ducks in a row and go on good runs, which is January, February, we start making moves. With all the incomings that we have going on, with guys getting back healthy, we're on an unbeaten run. Hard to believe that we can say that now. It's been 5 or 6 games in a row without a loss. It's nice looking at knock on wood. It's nice looking at the standings, and typically they have like the last 5 up there, and there's no red. There's no red anywhere to be seen. We've won 3 and drawn 2. Things are starting to turn around. It's looking much better. So initial thoughts on the starting 11. I like that there was rotation. I was a little concerned that we weren't going to have enough legs in the midfield. And I think starting the game off, let's dive into kind of some of the feelings on the match. I was a little concerned the first 15, 20 minutes. It didn't look great. It was a lot of standing around when we had the ball.
A lot of recycling at the corners again.
Yeah, it was some of the things that we had seen in past matches that were not good. We were keeping, but we weren't doing anything with it. And Ipswich was able to counter a bit in the first 15, 20 minutes. But after that, it looked so much better. After getting that first goal, you could see the body language shift. We were keeping the ball so much better. This was like City from last year, where they were keeping it, creating chances, and it was one-touch passing. It was much quicker. It wasn't nearly as slow of play that we saw and have seen the last 4 months or so. It was much quicker, more direct. There was so much more direct play from either guys picking the ball up and driving with it forward, or looking for an incisive pass to split lines. It was so much better. The rest of the game was a joy to watch, and this was the first time I felt like that in a while. So I felt like overall great win. 3 points, got +6 on the goal differential. That really helped. That got us up into 4th place now, above Newcastle on goal differential. Huh?
Right.
Yeah. Currently, because Chelsea does play tomorrow, and if they win, they'll move back into 4th and we'll drop down to 5th. If they tie, be on goal differential, we'll be tied, so there'll be another tiebreaker they'll have to do to figure out who's where. And that they play Wolves tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Andy Gundo looked better. It was a little iffy at the start, like I said, but towards the end, he looked much better. He looked better throughout as the game went on. And these are the kind of games where we could probably use him against lower level competition, against the likes of Ipswich, FA Cup, lower tier teams. Like those are ones that we could probably use him in and be okay. And he wasn't playing the 6. That's the most important piece. He wasn't being asked to sit and play defense. He was allowed to do what he's comfortable with. So
right. Well, and it was basically Kovacic and Gundo running a double pivot while Nunez was playing more inverted or even on the wing. So I like if you're going to do this, I like the pairing of the double pivot in this situation and allowing the 4 up front to really roam and then bring everything up. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to give too much clout to Gundo because he's still off the pace. He looked better today. He looked more like a Gundo that we recognize. But on the whole, I mean, there's still a lot of proving for him at his age. It scares me a little bit. And if we're going to play him as a 6, like we have, like I said, I think the double pivot works for him better because he's not having to cover as much ground rather than, the work rate of Mateo Kovacic, even more so Rodri. He can't compete with that. So having the double pivot is absolutely necessary if we're going to keep him back there. I don't know. There's still that little like festering like, oh my God, Gundo's in, we're going to fucking blow it in my stomach, even though we thrash them. I don't know. Crazy.
Chad, we both clicked the same at the same time. Chad,
sure
thanks for hanging. I know you got to go.
Everything's must win at this point.
I would say pretty much PSG is in the, you're not making the knockout rounds, and they're only a point below us. So if they go ahead, we can't rely on other people below us losing. We need the 3 points to secure comfortably at least being in the playoffs. So
yeah, I mean right now we're sitting in the middle of that. I don't even know if we're in the middle. I think we're even closer to the end of that
towards
playoff.
The bottom of the unseeded one, which means we're going to go away to a higher place. So we need to win the last 2 to get it in a better position for sure. Because PSG has to win. They have to.
Yeah, we have to win these next 2 Wednesdays, or else Champions League
could be done,
close to over.
Yeah. So I with Gundo, I want to give him props for today, but again, when going forward, if we're looking at our best 11, he's not there, which is okay. That's the way it should be. That's what he was brought in for, was to be a supplemental piece, not somebody who's going to be featuring as heavily. For him, when guys start getting back, I think we'll see less of him in the starting 11, which is a good thing. And he can come in once things are done and hopefully just see things out. But man, it still feels good to have a look back and see a 6-0 dub on the board and see 5 different scores. That was what was great for me. Phil got a brace, scored 2. And was,
by the way, we're still doing that shirt promo because Phil scored 2. Since Phil scored 2, the Pew Pew shirt, code 47, gets you 15% off our store. Go check it out.
There you go.
I had to throw my promo in there.
I'm glad you did. So that's, I think, 6 goals in 6 matches, 4 in the last 2 for Phil. For me, him and Kevin, biggest takeaway for this game, those 2 are finding that rhythm together that they had previously had. So I love that those 2 are linking up so frequently. Phil also assisted Kova's goal. So hats off to Phil, Kev, Doku. Honorable mention, he was fantastic on the left wing, providing assists, getting the bounce helped, but I still think that ball was going in on his goal. I think whether there was a deflection or not, it was probably going in. But it was just nice to see our two of our best players connecting once again.
Sorry, reading comments.
No, you're good. You're good. So, who else caught your eye while you were watching? For me, Kev, Phil, Doku definitely stood out. Who else, if anybody else, kind of caught your eye whilst you were watching?
Diaz. He certainly was a heavy difference maker. He does make people. Hoang said it in here earlier. He makes people feel comfortable, and it's not just the players; it's the entire fan base. Having him on does make me feel comfortable, but as I said right off rip, injuries are rinse and repeat with us this season, and I am not going to be sold on a player giving 100% after coming off injury.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We are lucky that we have made the signings that we have so far. They are certainly going to help with the mix of rotation going forward. And to be honest, I actually heard Vitter Hayes is actually going to be playing more of a CDM role potentially with us, which is nice because we fucking need it. How well he'll play in that position is to be seen. But aside from that, man, I mean, it really was. It was the Phil, Kevin, and Doku show. They were the heavy standouts in this one.
I think Kova again had a very strong performance. I think he's continuing to build off of past games, and he's really starting to look a little more comfortable playing that 6. There are times where we're still caught out in transitions because he's kind of a little bit either maybe not caught too far forward, but he doesn't quite have the urgency of someone who's a 6, who's a natural 6, who's like, you know what, my job first and foremost is to break up attack.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't always have that. It's probably because he's not a 6 in his DNA. He's not like that guy. So he's like, there's times where I see him kind of taking his time, getting back into position, not just him, other folks too. But when you're the 6, like you need to be back in those paces, breaking up attacks. The only area that I really felt like we could have maybe done a little bit better on, for most of the game, it felt like transitions when we won the ball were just too slow. I feel like that's something that has happened for us across the board with some matches. We win it, we look up, and then we take a touchback and pass it. Or we, instead of picking the ball up and going quickly with the ball, we take a couple of touches. We're kind of jogging with it. There's not a lot of urgency in transition. And we have players who could be dominant on the counterattack and in transition. Doku's pace, Holland's pace and physicality, Cav's ability to pick out passes. Like, let's win the ball and let's go. Like, let's push quickly in transition. And I felt like we scored 6, so we weren't having problems scoring, but there could have been more maybe out there for us if we were a little bit quicker in transition.
Yeah, you're right. Because even right off the beginning, I mean, this probably should have been 8-0. Mm-hmm. There were 2 goals that were easies that we completely fucking missed the mark on, especially that Holland goal attempt. Bro, how are you going to take a shot right down the fucking gut when there's space on either side and you've got nobody on you?
And he tries to chip the keeper.
Why?
Just slot it to the side, bro.
One side or the other, bro.
That's all you had to do.
Yeah. That one really frustrated me. Even Aiden. Aiden was like, "Daddy, why did he do that?" He's like, "That doesn't even make sense."
You know what, son? I don't have an answer for you, bud.
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for you on that one, man. Yeah, I mean, the transition thing is a big thing, and I think maybe there's a bit of complacency in the mindset of that. I only say that because even me myself watching those transitions, I'm thinking of like there's a couple of times where I saw Holland or Doku, I'm like, go break that line, go break
Mm-hmm.
that line, dude. We got it. There's space. Go make a break. No, we didn't. We're always right around like 30 yards. If you know, like you know what I'm saying, 30 yards before the byline. Uh we decide to like slow it down, and turn it around and get everything set. No. Go make a break. Go make them shit their pants a little bit.
Yes. Doku, especially when he made it 4-0 and got his score, I felt was, yes, lucky with a little bit of the deflection, but he made his own luck by being aggressive, by being direct, by picking the ball up and taking somebody on at pace. As a defender, it is so hard to slow somebody down and defend someone when they're coming at you with pace. If they're kind of just coming at you with little touches, you can force them one way or the other. You can kind of slow them down. You have an opportunity to put in a tackle and make a challenge. But when they're coming at you full speed, you don't know which direction they're going. You don't have time to set up on either their right or left side to force them one way or the other. And Doku was, I think, rewarded for doing that. He was very direct, very aggressive with that particular play. So it was really nice to see him get rewarded with a goal by doing the things that we've been harping on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, yes, 100% soon. With guys coming back, with Oscar Bob coming back, with guys getting healthy and coming into form, with Marmouche coming in, hopefully easing him in slowly, adding him to what's becoming
I don't
a more
think he's going to
dynamic.
want that though.
You know, he's gonna
want to come in, slot in, and be a contributor right off the bat. Yeah.
Yep. So having somebody who's got the amount of goal contributions that he has already.
Hey, Jess.
What up? Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you. Literally talking about earlier whenever I think I don't remember if it was Luke's or Martin's or whomever, and you were like, "You guys are on late," and I was like, "Not on Sundays." And then here we are late on a Sunday, but you're here, so that's fucking awesome. Thank you.
So, and then for the 5th, when Holland got his goal, we were aggressive in the press, and Ipswich turned the ball over. Doku stepped very strongly to a really poor pass from Jack Clark.
It was terrible. Oh my God. I was like, dude, this one's getting picked off.
Yep.
He's going.
And Doku was aggressive, picked it up, attacked the defender to make him commit, and then was able to just slip in Holland. And this time, Holland was able to just pick his corner and just slot it past the keeper who was coming out. So that one, again, rewarded for aggressive play, being direct, and taking on defenders and slipping them in. And then Holland learned from his mistake last time and buried the opportunity.
Things you love to see.
Nice.
It's really, it's honestly, this makes any American giddy. The fact that any of y'all over there are giving the NFL any kind of recognition.
Attention.
That's attention. Thank you. That was probably the better word. Yes, that's great. I'm glad you're up. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm not. My team's out, so.
I mean, we just mentioned it, and we're bringing it up, so I might as well. This was what I was rocking today.
That is the only one that, yes.
The best.
Sean Taylor, let's go.
Commanders, Redskins. It is. This is an official Junks.
Let's go.
Stitched all that. This is OG Reebok right there.
Oh yeah. So Reebok, wow, that's a throw.
That's what I'm saying. It's an older one. And it's in great condition because it was in a display box for the longest period of time. And I was like, you know what? I'm taking it out of the display box because I want to use that display box to put up a City jersey instead. So I'm going to do that instead. You're Kansas City Chiefs? So
you're probably a Swiftie too, aren't you?
My children thoroughly enjoy Taylor Swift, so I can't say much there. But yeah, Hwang, much like I was mentioning with transitions, this dude is a monster on counterattacks, so we need to start doing that more often. Please. Please, please, please. And then Pep used 5 subs, and he did them earlier in the match. He brought guys on pretty quickly. Maka came on, Nico came on, Rico came on, Mubama. How do we say it?
I'm fairly certain that's. We can't say it how I said it, because then people will say that I'm being a certain way that I'm not. I want to say it's Mubama.
Came on. He looked good too. And who was our 5th one? Nico, Rico, Maka.
Playing that helped. I'm sorry. That
Buddy.
helped absolutely nothing.
I know how to spell it. I don't know how to say it, bro.
Right. That helped absolutely nothing.
Well, Jessica was a Chiefs fan before Taylor came in board. So Grealish, thank you, Jess. It was Jack came on and played out wide.
Yeah, well, he played a lot centrally too. Even somewhat of a false 9 there for a few minutes, which was kind of cool to see.
It was and I agree with Jess. She said I was worried about the subs today. I'm glad he did use them, considering we have so many matches coming up and guys that we're probably going to feature on Wednesday. We're getting a little bit of a breather towards the end. So yes, we will get to.
We'll get to that a little bit, bro. You be throwing stuff at us that we're going to talk about. Just let us get there. Just let us get there.
Yes, how early? Yeah, I was surprised that within right around the 60th minute mark, he was putting on 3 new guys. So it was nice to see that happening. So, any final thoughts on the match, my guy?
No, we looked back to us. We look like we are completely shifted in the right direction. We're definitely crawling towards the sunset rather than trying to chase it backwards at this point, which is great. I think it's going to take. I think it's going to take a lot from everybody in the squad right now, with us going back into short weeks, to make sure that we continue on this run. This is not going to be easy at all. We have so many things that we have to basically count on to happen in order for us to get back into a title chase situation. Because as it stands right now, it's in reach, but it's not at the same time. Top 4, yeah, Jess. It is a must this season.
Have to.
Sorry, that popped up when I was trying to click it. Top 4 is where we need to land, regardless. And I think that we can do that. I think we're on the right track to do that. But I'm, even in spite of me saying that, exactly, Steve, game by game, we have to take one game at a time. We can take one game at a time, focus, put our energy into that, move on, and be goldfish. That's the biggest thing. We cannot sit there and fester and dwell if we come up short one day, up until May. We've got to forget what happened, move on to the next one. As far as the title race goes, I really feel, and I've been saying this nonstop in our personal group chats between me, you, and Stu and others. Shit, what was I going to say? Fuck.
The league title chase.
Oh, it's not out of reach in totality. It's not. There are games that are still droppable, especially the last 6 for Liverpool. Their last 6 matches of the season is not an easy run. So there is time to make up ground. Not only that, but there are injuries. There are injuries that are still absolutely possible. So I'm just, as long as we can stay as long as we can stay grounded and realize that what we do going forward, I'm trying to find my words here. Sorry, guys. Long day. Let me just put it this way. I believe that it can get done. At the very least, we can get into the top two, or you know what I mean. Like we can come up in second place is what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. These other teams that are standing above us right now, Nottingham Forest. That's one of the bigger ones that I'd like to say. They're not mature enough to make a long run. They're playing some really great ball right now, and good for them. But this isn't going to last. Chelsea you don't know what the fuck you're going to get every fucking week. So, I mean,
and Arsenal, we know. Arsenal, we know.
Oh yeah,
what they do. So, and
with all these signings that have come in, just the three that we've gotten so far. I'm sorry, I gotta switch out of the comments because that's what's fucking distracting me. I just see comment.
Keep going. I'll watch those while you're talking.
I don't know what I was saying. Again, I lost my train of thought. We got this.
Nothing is out of the question at this point. So let's not talk about the title race. Let's just talk about who we got next. Let's let the chips fall where they may. We know we need help from other teams losing. We'll see what happens each match. We never know what's going to. And who saw Everton beating the pants off Tottenham today?
Right. Well, it's Tottenham.
Fact. So you never know what's going to happen in the Premier League. You really don't. So let's try to stack 3 points. Yeah,
this is the title for the rest of the season. Every game is a final.
Of all these teams that are still fighting, you know who has experience in this situation, needing to win a bunch of games in a row to stay relevant in the title race and doing it? We do. We've been here before. We've run down titles before. So when the pressure gets tight, no matter the form we're in, I would put money on our guys over the likes of Nottingham Forest, certainly over Arsenal. Liverpool have a couple of guys still remaining that know what it takes to win a title. Not too many of them though. They only have a couple still from those Klopp days. So we'll see what happens. Let's just take it a game at a time. Stack 3 points at each weekend, and we'll see where we're at come beginning of May, if it's even within reach.
I'm not paying that any mind. Right. Let's see, 38 minutes. Let's go to a little break. We'll come back. City and community news after that. And then we're going to bro out a little bit as per usual, but we're going to do the same thing we did with last time. Whoever's in the comments, you get to ask questions because we're going to play that game today. So we will be right back. All right, guys. That's our new shirt that we just put out this week in honor of Holland signing for literally the rest of his career here to stay at City. That is up on our shop right now. But I do want to explain something to everybody. The store's not doing so great. Not a lot of orders. Not a big deal. But I will say this is the last shirt we will be releasing ever. Onto our store from here going on. we will be making shirts, but we will not be releasing them to the public. We are going to leave it up to you guys to say, hey, damn, I want that shirt if we're wearing it. So, right. And also the fact that we do not, and we are not trying to, like the rest of the city podcasts, try to monetize by doing the right things and doing the copyright, this and the other. Like, we want to make it our show. I spent many, many years doing audio and video and all this kind of stuff. I'd like to use my talents. So for us, the way you can help us the best is not only to like and share, but if you actually do purchase stuff off of our store, that will help us as far as keeping everything as pretty as we try to make it for y'all. But yeah, go check out the shirts. Go check out the store. Let's move into city and community news.
Friday morning was quite the to-do, was it not? Woke up early to the news that one Erling Braut Haaland had signed an extension, 9.5 years. And from accounts, any release clause that was previously in there is now gone. The social media blitz that City and Haaland himself did was absolutely top notch. The content that they put out Friday morning and Friday afternoon for us and evening for y'all across the pond was amazing. He's a Blue through and through. He's not going anywhere for the next 9.5, 10 years. Colby, how many months was that extension exactly? 115, yeah, 115.
Totally taking the piss out of the league.
The petty level,
totally
next level, and I'm here for that energy from our club. That shit was 100% planned and done on purpose to be released when they did. And
I'm sure the club doesn't not read what's all over the internet.
Oh, they do.
Especially with the amount of fans that are like, oh, 115 is going to stop us from doing that, blah, blah, blah. No, it ain't. And here's my opinion that comes behind this. The 115 charges, it's nothing more than a smear campaign, guys. There is nothing else that's going on other than they're pissed it's not them. It's not a red team anymore. It's not United. It'll never be Arsenal. It's not Liverpool. Like, that's all this is. And the more you guys feed into the media, the worse it fucking gets sometimes. Like, you cannot listen to what the mainstream media fucking puts out to you all the time. First of all, you can't formulate your own fucking opinions. If you do, you're just being a parrot. But moreover, the fact, the media will literally do anything and everything to make you doubt yourself. Let's not fall for it anymore, guys. This was 150% the club taking the piss out of the league. Not only just the league, but UEFA, FIFA. Like, yeah. It's a straight middle finger. And I shit like this makes me love this club more because it's like you guys want to paint us to be the bad guys so fucking bad, but you're doing such a terrible job at it. In the process, every other team is looking like the bad guy now.
Mm-hmm. With Haaland signing for 10 more years, Pep extending 2 more years, spending 150 million plus pounds in the January market so far, with more potential signings to come. None of that screams we're getting a severe punishment where we're getting docked a lot of points, where we're not going to be in the Champions League, where we're going to get relegated down to League 2, all of that bullshit. All of that is not going to happen because they don't have evidence to prove that we did anything wrong, because there is none, because we didn't do shit wrong. And like you said, all of this humongous smear campaign from the red side, and then going back to UEFA. with Barcelona and Real Madrid and the big clubs in Spain trying to do the same thing, is put us down because they see us taking over globally across the board with fans, with awesome marketing and club structure where we're buying clubs from all over the place and creating the city football group. They don't like that because that means we're doing things better than them, and they want the status quo. They want themselves to continue to be at the top, everybody's favorite club. Your everybody's favorite club ain't y'all no more. It's this one.
Right.
This one right here. Right there. So maybe a small fine, probably again for the same thing we got last time, which was not cooperating. But guess what? I ain't cooperating with your bitch asses if you're just trying to, chuck dirt on us that don't exist. So no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when this is nothing more than a bunch of people taking temper tantrums and being children because it's not them. Dude, your time ain't here right now. Sorry, not sorry, but like I don't. Honestly, can I just be honest with everybody? This is the fucking pettiest sport of all of them. Absolute pettiest.
Yes, people. Yes, 100%. Because the hate and the rivalry is like ingrained within culture and generational like anger and hate between. So it's just the petty level is on a next level because of the history of disdain and dislike for clubs within the same town, from rival clubs across continents that have been competing in European competitions and all of that kind of thing. So it's deep seated disdain that's gone on for a long time. So people are like, hey, when they have the opportunity to be petty, they're going to be petty and like go to the nth degree with their petty.
The only crosstown rivals we have here in America, which no longer exists because of relocation, was Oakland and San Francisco. That was the only crosstown rival where you felt unsafe. You don't have that with the LA Chargers and the Rams. You don't have that with the Jets and the Giants.
Nope.
They could literally give a fuck about each other, like make their difference in their lives, right? Especially because they're in different conferences. But like, it's so wild to me especially the way I see people talk to each other. I'm just like, oh my god. I would have been in a lot of fist fights by now. I'll tell you that.
The closest thing we have on this side is like college rivalry sometimes.
Yeah.
And they don't get that to that level, like of fisticuffs at times or hatred. No. There's hatred, but not to this degree. So
no. Michigan State and Michigan maybe, or Arizona State and Arizona.
And you know like Duke Carolina basketball is pretty close, but it's not like
basketball though.
Yeah, that's totally different. It's a little more civil at times.
Yeah. Don't wear your colors into our town, but I get it.
Yeah. Exactly. So
so it doesn't get.
Yes. So it doesn't reach that level. Yeah. Correct.
So, all right, Marmouche, tomorrow, medical should be done. Should be good.
Done and dusted there because he's older, so he doesn't require nearly as much paperwork to be done like Kusanov and Vidar Hayes. So he should be a little bit quicker on getting everything done. Once that medical's done, they can start signing paperwork, and he will be officially a citizen. So very excited to get him in and done.
So do you think that he'll probably end up playing at the weekend against Chelsea? Because if he's only being cleared tomorrow, I can't see him playing on Wednesday.
No, and I think with the travel, obviously
Kusanov is being revealed tomorrow.
Yeah, officially got the number 45.
Yep.
Excited to see that. For Marmouche, I maybe next week because we're going to be gone Wednesday in Paris. There's not a lot of time to really incorporate him much into training since we only have Thursday, Friday. So I would imagine let him train a little bit and maybe we see him the following weekend. I didn't look. I didn't do my homework. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he can play in Champions League until the playoff round, maybe because Frankfurt wasn't in. Are they in the Champions League? I didn't even check that. Because if he's registered with another team,
just said
in there,
cannot add new players to UCL squad until we are confirmed in the knockout stage.
Yes, that part. So he'll maybe next weekend, not Chelsea, but the following weekend, he might be able to partake and help us. If we need a goal, bring him in second half, see what he can do. Mm-hmm. So
hey guys. A lot of the questions that I ask are of rhetoric, not because we don't know. Just so you know, okay.
Kushinov was brought up. The new Balotelli. We got another 45 in there. First time we've had a 45 brought in. The pictures that were leaked a little bit of him holding it up with I guess his manager, and I think Pep took one with him. He's not a smiler, and I kind of like that about my defender.
It's business, no pleasure. I appreciate that. It's funny because Kelly, who's going to be on next Sunday, she had put in on X on a post. She's like, I don't think most people realize that most Russian descendants don't have a lot of emotion. Like, you have to understand it's just part of the culture. No, he did not smile in that picture. He looked like a cold-blooded assassin. He also, and I put this on X, he kind of looked like he may have shat his pants a little bit because he was like, oh my God, I'm at City. This is really happening.
This is real. This is real life.
Now they're taking my picture with a shirt. Like, damn it.
Yep. And apparently he's trained already with the boys before the trip to Ipswich. So he's already partaked. Again, long day. He's already been involved a bit with training. So he took pictures, was like, hey, I'm ready to go get on the pitch. Let's go be with the boys and whatnot. Yeah. Interview. Yeah, absolutely. No interviews, just let his play do the talking. Plus, he's still learning the language, so that's going to take him a little bit of time.
Exactly.
You're going to feel a little self-conscious when you don't speak the language. Even Sergio, who spoke the language, not great, mind you, when he was with us, he still had a tough time. Was not a big fan of doing a lot of interviews because he felt self-conscious about the way he sounded when he was speaking English. So that's a natural thing for somebody who doesn't speak that language as their first one, even or their second or third, because some of these guys can speak multiple fucking languages, which is crazy, which is awesome, which is a very cool thing to do. I wish I knew, or had the discipline. I'll say it. I wish I knew. I wish I had the discipline to spend the time to learn one like that. So yes. Yes, shoulder barge someone. Yes. All of that. Yeah. All of that right there. I can't wait to see that. Seeing him and Ruben in the back together with their physicality and no nonsense approach be very nice partnership to see in the future. Again, I don't want to rush him. Like, it's a big step up from where from Lons to us. So there'll be some learning curve. We're not going to rush him in. Let's give him ample time.
No, but God damn it, he can. If you got, like I said the last episode, if you guys have seen his highlight reels, this motherfucker is an assassin. I cannot wait to have his rage out on the pitch and taking people down. Cannot fucking wait. What up, Luke?
Going to Paris, that a boy. Very cool.
Oui.
Take some pictures, post them up. I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see the trip.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
Are
Pretty
you
city.
are you gonna tourist a little bit, or are you just going there for business?
It's a nice way.
Rushing him in.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Right. Bodied him.
I am here for that energy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be
So
nice seeing him evolve in our system for sure. So the big name that everybody's been throwing around that I have been in massive doubt over. Uh, David Ornstein reported this morning that City are interested in a Doug Luiz loan deal, but Juve want a loan plus a mandatory buy to follow. So, is it worth it? Can we work it? Are we going to put
flip a
that
thing
thing
down,
down,
flip
flip
it, and
it, and
reverse
reverse
it.
it?
Luke said touristing Monday and Tuesday, business on Wednesday. Then there we go. Absolutely,
There you
we'll
go.
be checking those out. Very nice. Enjoy that trip, man.
Yeah, don't be scared of the escargot, man. It's not bad. I promise.
Ugh.
Listen, the idea, yes, disgusting. The flavor, different story. I promise you. So we have this little French spot here in town, right? Guy's been there for fucking ever. I don't know how he stays open, to be honest, because they hardly get any business. But I went in there a few years back. Me and my buddies, we went to have brunch. And we didn't want to go to our normal spot. We usually go to this one place here in town called Village Square. And they do a nice brunch. It's $35. You get 4 or 5 courses plus on like bottomless. Yeah, I definitely want Alicia to come if that happens. We'll get to the Douglas Luiz thing in a minute. But no, he we usually go to this one place. We said, "Fuck it, we're gonna go to the French spot, check it out, whatever." And it's not badly priced. Well, they've got escargot on the appetizer menu, and I was like, I looked around the table, and we were all hungover from the night before. And I was like, "We're all doing it. If I'm doing it, we're all doing it." And they're like, "You're fucking ridiculous. I'm not doing it." Man, I took the first bite, and I was thoroughly. I already know about frog legs. Don't you worry about that. Listen, y'all don't know about Southern cooking, so. But anyways, yeah. Took my first bite of it. Pulled out a little toothpick and tried it. Dude, I was like, there's no way that's a snail. There's no way. It tastes so good. And they're like, "You're fucking with me, right?" I'm like, "Do you see me gagging?" I'm not. So they all, dude, we went through 4 orders of them motherfuckers.
What's the texture like?
I mean, you like seafood, right? You like clams and mussels and shit, right? No. Well, then this isn't for you.
Okay, then. That's why I asked.
How are you from? Hold on a second. Time out. 30 seconds. How the fuck are you from Maine and you don't like shellfish?
I like shellfish. I just don't like clams and mussels.
Well, why?
I don't like the texture.
How about oysters?
No. Pass.
All the same for you.
Eesh. No thanks.
You're such a baby.
I am not a baby.
You have baby taste buds, buddy.
Not anymore, I don't. Thank you. I was far worse before you met me. Luke agrees with me.
Even Luke said they're actually fucking decent.
That's why I'm asking about the texture, because I'm willing to try them, considering how many of y'all have said they're really good and delicious, and I trust you.
Listen, just do one.
He's gonna do one.
Not in my pants, if that's what you're getting after.
Steve, have you had proper crabs? Is my question. Have you?
Them yourself? Have you had proper crabs? Dude, I mean, European food. That's kind of silly. Food. It's just food. It's just most of what we have over here is modeled after everything in fucking Europe, anyways. Like most people are like, "Oh, what's an American dinner like?" It's the same as a fucking English dish here. It's typically a protein that's been roasted in the oven with some root vegetables or others. Yeah,
George, if you go,
you
let
are
me
gonna have to
know,
take a trip again.
and I will tell you the places to go to get the good shit. Because
If you're a lover of seafood, Luke, you come here to the DMV and we'll show you what seafood's really about.
absolutely.
Go pick some crabs, go suck down some oysters, have some what hold on.
I can't with you, Steve.
What did you say?
I can't.
You had them in a while through my pants once. Is your tally still there?
I hope so.
I hope. Do you know how hard
Those some big those? Yeah,
they are not weak, bro. Cheeky Louisiana boil. That's right. That's the real good stuff.
That sounds lovely right now.
That or a low country boil, which is they're right in and around the same thing.
George, Bangor, grew up there, spent a lot of time there. Family's still there, but a lot of mine family is in what they call Down East Maine, which is along the coast, which is where you get all of the good seafood. So Bar Harbor, Belfast, a little bit of Portland, Saco area. So yeah, down that area for sure.
Bahaba.
Yes.
Don't talk to me about snoring dogs, George.
You know that gets him riled.
Don't. No. Yeah. You had a vasectomy. No shit. I bet. I'm sure your urethra was collapsed.
Oh my God, Steve. We got to have a conversation privately about your extracurricular activities, my guy.
And for all of our British, English, Manx peoples in here, a snoring dog is a hot dog in a sweet Mexican bun that is topped with beans, a jalapeno relish, mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup, and the dog is wrapped in bacon. Bro.
Got me drooling over here.
Top tier hot dogage.
Before we got sidetracked by all the delicious food in the comments, which is totally okay. I don't mind at all.
Former chef.
Yes.
Hello.
Don't mind the sidetracks, please. This is great.
Right.
Love the interaction with you guys in the comments with this kind of stuff. Totally fine. Now once we recap the show, the match, anytime after that, derail time is okay. We can go left and right. That is totally cool. So
I'll break out the waffler for everybody.
But Douglas Luiz on a loan, I don't think it could hurt because if he's not fitting in, then we just don't play him.
Right, but they want a loan to mandatory buy, my guy.
I don't know if I want that. I don't think I want a mandatory buy option. If it's an option to buy and it's just inserted in there, we could buy them. Cool, but anything that's mandatory, no thanks. So.
Sexy shrimp.
Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Y'all are phenomenal.
I don't know why you're not like a fucking comedian. You could be making some hella good money off jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know that I feel and I've said this before. I am not a fan of bringing back people. I sat on the fence with the whole Gundo thing this summer. We moved on for a reason. There's a reason why Douglas Luiz isn't wearing blue still. If he's going to wear blue, Alicia Lehman needs to come with him. That's the only thing that secures this for me. Other than that, I mean, yeah, sure, he's a good player, but for how long? He's having a really good season right now. He's having a good season now. You know what I mean? Like when he was at Villa, he wasn't. He was starting to blossom a little bit. I'll give him that. But prior to that, exactly.
Going down a
But
little
he
bit.
started to loss him. He shut the bed again. So it's like, do I want to take the chance on somebody who I know doesn't have a consistent mentality? I don't think so.
I
That's not
appreciate
what this
them.
locker room needs.
I appreciate them kicking the tires and making attempts to potentially see what options are out there. But I don't want to sign, like I said last show, I don't want to sign somebody just to sign somebody just to have an extra body. I'd rather see, if we're going to do that and to bring a loan situation, I would prefer let Nico O'Reilly and McAtee get more run in the midfield than bringing in somebody who may not be here long term. Those two guys, Nico
Could be.
clearly, Maka seems to want to be here and be here for a while. So why not give those minutes to those guys and see what they can do? Give an opportunity. And again, we have people coming back healthy. When we have Savino, Bob, Doku, all healthy, that opens up the door for Jack to help out a little bit more centrally. Kevin's been, knock on wood, very healthy. Bernie's been relatively there's plenty of bodies there in the midfield to get us through to the summer when we can then look to refresh and bring in higher quality options too. I think we can do better than Douglas Luiz in long term. So
I do too. I do too. I really do. I think our scouting is far and away some of the best in all of sports. And I mean that. All of sports. I can't see why, again, we're going back and we're looking at a prospect that has already left our facility.
mm-hmm.
There are plenty of people out there, I'm sure, to look. And as I said earlier in the show, Bitter Hayes is supposed to be potentially
Getting a
filling in
look
the
there, right?
CDM role and getting some play there. So I mean, there's another option, and I can't see him it being any different than throwing like Stonesy in there. He's probably a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more athletic on the ball and better on the ball too than Stones is. We don't know yet. We'll see very soon. Um,
Yes.
she can. She can. It's me. God, man, I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to be a complete and total pervert, especially when we have ladies in here, but she has got the nicest behind ever. I ever.
It's a nice tush.
Oh, you know shit, right? Listen, we are greatly missing the services of Bunny and Greenwood and Hemp. Like that that was a pitiful showing today. I feel very bad for the ladies, but all in the same like
There is help on the way on the front, that front with the ladies, though. They just signed Caroline from the NC Courage from the
yep,
NWSL. She is a
yep.
former league MVP. She's a Brazilian star, and she is going to be a massive help for the ladies once she gets over up to speed and incorporated. She is an absolute stud. So that was a
Yeah.
humongous signing. I forgot to. I'm glad that this got brought up
That bubble
for the women.
man.
Yes, because that reminded me. Like I saw that news. I was like, holy shit, that's a great get because I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of NWSL and seen her play a lot. She is going to help this squad. Her and Bunny and Hemp up front is going to
Once they
be
get all
nasty.
yeah,
Absolutely
for
nasty.
sure. Steve Black asks, is this the end of the road for Stones and Ake? I'm gonna say one half of that for sure.
Come summertime, I think.
I'm not gonna say I know for sure that he's leaving. I obviously don't, especially with me being over on this side of the pond. But the way things are stacking up, in my mind, Stonesy's on his way out. Ake, there could be something left in him, right? He's just very injury prone. And that sucks a lot because he has some of the best recovery speed that I've seen. And it's only gotten better as years have gone on since I've been watching City. And the physicality that he has when it's on display is awesome. I just don't. If we do keep him, it's going to be a very short-term contract. That I don't see them giving him a max of anything more than 2. But
Stonesy's
he
got
is a
one more
potential that
year.
he could.
Stonesy's got one more year officially with us. And then let me pull up Nathan's contract here real quick. And then we'll know for certain where they're at. And then Nathan's he's got 2 more years officially on his deal. So Nathan, I think, is probably, like you mentioned, I'm with you. I think we still have a little bit left. I think for him, yes, a little injury prone, but this year I think it was out of necessity because he was trying to play through too many things because there was nobody else back there. Right. Stonesy, I think, has the Vincent Company issue towards the end of Vinny's career where his hamstrings couldn't stay healthy for an extended period. I don't know if it's a coaching thing for Stones. He's only 30. There's still, I think, room left for him to play first team football. It just might not be with us because of the level that is required. The level that's required to be a City player, and if he can't, we can't continue to shell out the weekly wages for someone who's not helping us midweekend and on weekends. So as much as I love him, and I do love John Stones, he's a humongous part of City over the last 8 years. We got new young guys coming in, and maybe it's time for him to find the next step in his career. And that's not me wanting him to leave, but the reality of the situation is what it is at this point. So speaking of guys who are moving on, club captain Kyle Walker and AC Milan appear to be wrapping up their deal. They, according to, was it Orstein? I think, or no, Fab, Fabrizio, saying that by Tuesday, Wednesday, a loan term agreement should be done between City and AC Milan. Steve,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But
he pull a hammy screaming.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like Kyle Walker saga is going to be wrapped up midweek this week coming up, and it appears he's going to be off to Italy and joining AC Milan right now on a loan per Fab. Last time I checked, which was a little bit before the show today, that was still true. That is the most likely resolution at this point, and then maybe, see what happens, and then obviously he'll be
I have a feeling that he's going to finish the season. If he does take this contract and go on loan to AC Milan, he comes back and we fucking send him to the Saudi Pro League. That seems again, like
he's gonna need the funds.
Well, exactly. But I don't see him catching a big contract with the MLS either. He's not big enough a name to come over here and garner those type of wages.
Right. Yeah. And
they want Walker as a water fountain in Rome. That way everybody can see his broken penis.
There you go. And I think if he came here, I don't think that would help family life, because it seems like he's trying to save said relationship and whatnot.
Anna ain't having it. Or Annie. She ain't having none of it.
And I don't think the U.S. is I would add to his already high level of distractions.
Especially with the way girls over here love English accents. Homeboy would not have a fucking chance.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, and he did because he wants to round out his career at home, and I appreciate that. I totally do. But is Sheffield United going to pay him? I mean, they're League One right now, aren't they? I don't even think they're in the championship anymore.
I haven't even checked on them in a while, so
yeah, that's him going way. I mean, he might be able to dominate at that level, but then again, you're looking at age. you've got a bunch of these guys who are anywhere between 17 and 28.
They're second in the championship behind Leeds right now.
Oh, they are a championship.
They're in currently in a fight to come up. But that doesn't solve his family issue, in my opinion. Like if you're in the same situation you were before, just at a different club. You're still in the same area. You're still in England. He needs to get away to refresh everything, which is at least for the next 5 months. He'll do that over in Italy. So hope it works out. I'm glad it's resolved.
Milan is probably not any better of a place for him, in all honesty, if you really think about it. I mean, that's the fashion capital of Italy, of the world, really.
Mm-hmm.
And next to Paris. There's a lot of parties that go on in Milan.
Kyle, get yourself together, bro.
They like to do things on the high end too. So, yeah, nice. Sorry, I got a notification from my phone
that's
up there.
Yep.
Any hoozy. Let's look a little bit to PSG. I know Huang and a few others in the comments were on about it. PSG, they have not looked so PSG in a minute.
Nope.
They recently lost Muane.
Yep.
So they're going to be down a little bit of talent. They have barely scraped by the last couple of their matches. PSG is easily handleable. Is that a word? It's not a word.
It is now.
I just George Bush the fuck out of
that. Exactly.
They can be managed. They can be handled, and it can be done at home. I don't really have a lot of fears walking into Paris. I think with the way the squad reacted, yes, Ipswich is not a top level team. They are on the brink of relegation. But the one thing that has to be said is that the boys are having fun again.
That's huge.
And that matters going forward, because if we're not having fun, what's it really worth? You know what I mean? I think this is good. I think we're going to have, in spite of the short timetable between today and Wednesday, we will be able to go into Paris and handle business proper.
I mean, they got a lot of names still, but they're not playing cohesively as a unit.
Exactly.
And they've struggled much like we have in the Champions League. So there should be no fear going in like, oh, this is a problem. We've also beat them multiple times in the Champions League in the previous iterations of the competition in Paris, back here. So there should be absolutely no fear going to them. They have guys that can hurt us if we're not on our game, but if our boys do what they're supposed to and what they're capable of, we will go in, we will take care of business, we will be Man City, and we will come out of there with 3 points, which will make me and all of the rest of the fandom feel a lot more comfortable going into the last match of the season, of the Premier League group stage anyway, knowing that what we won't need nearly, we will know what we need to do to advance into the playoffs of this new format, which is not a lot of fun. So yeah, Steve, it is. It's a 6-pointer because they have to win this. If they don't, they're, for all intents and purposes, their Champions League season is all but done at that point. They'll need help from other people. Because they're still currently sitting in. You're not in the playoffs at this point, so they have to win, which will ramp up the intensity on their part. They know they're at home. They'll be saying some of the same things. They'll say Man City has looked beatable at times, and has looked poor in the Champions League and in the last few months. So they might be feeling the same way.
That was also part of that injury. Mm-hmm. That injury run.
Exactly.
I think we're going to come back looking a different team than what we did going back to October, November.
Yep. The last
It-
2-3 weeks have looked significantly better than where we were before. So um, I have faith. I'm very curious to see the lineup because now Pep is not just selecting only his healthy players. He's having to choose between guys who are in form. Who's he going to play on the wing? Doku, Savino, both been playing great football. Phil is cooking, so he's not coming out. Kev has been playing great. He's not coming out, so that only leaves Bernie's been a staple in his big match starting 11. So that leaves really one other spot in the attacking positions because Holland's playing. So who do you pick? You pick Doku, you pick Savino. Do you sit one of those other guys and let them both play? What do you like? We now have a selection, not a problem, but a selection decision to make, which is a good thing because again, that breeds competition amongst the players in practice, and that brings the best out of our guys because they know they can't rest on their laurels during matches or during practice because if they want to be in that 11, they got to bring it. So that's a good sign, good thing to have.
I would also be happy to see, even against PSG, if we go back to that 4 or 5 man back line like we did against Ipswich. How much of a difference that made in how we were able to manage and control the game a little bit more. I've been fucking saying it for goddamn weeks. We need a 4 man back line. 3 is the absolute bare minimum that we can have in the back. And there needs to be a pivot in front of it or else it does not work very well. Now, I will say, comparatively, Nunez has been getting back a lot better than, say, Kyle Walker would have been if we were to have started him recently. Nunez has made some mistakes, for sure.
Learning
and that's
curve
to
for
be
a new
expected.
position.
Exactly. That's to be expected out of a patchwork player. He is not an out and out fucking back at all. Yeah, not the 2 defenders like Sulfur. Oh, that was such an attack heavy fucking lineup. I was blown the fuck away that we walked out of there the way that we did. Yeah, I don't want to see never again, and I don't think we will. I mean, maybe against Leighton Orient. I don't know.
Right.
The only time I can see us ever doing that again.
That's a time where it might be okay, but not
Yeah.
in the Champions League away at Paris. That's not the time to do that.
No.
Knowing you need at least a result.
Not at all. I'm also curious to see the rotation as well. I wonder if Rico is going to see time at right back, being that Nunez has been in there for the last couple of matches at that position. I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw the likes of Jack Grealish roaming central position as part of one of the people who gets rotated out from the squad because I mean he's been in a lot more competition matches than Premier League matches in our history with him. So
there's he's got the experience with big away matches too. Like
exactly,
Savino might not have. Well, he doesn't have as much as Jack. Doku doesn't have as much of an experience as Jack would be going into because the club Paris is not. I'm not worried about. No, I'm not worried about their crowd, but their crowd can be a little bit more rowdy at times too. So there'll be an atmosphere at their stadium.
Most of them don't know what the fuck is being said out of them anyway. Don't mind it.
Exactly. So you might see Pep kind of not trot out the same cast of characters, but he might go with some more of his experienced guys that he knows can handle the loud noise and atmosphere of Paris. And Steve, spot on. Nunez has played center mid, right back. He's played both wings. He's played all over the pitch this year. And
I don't understand why anybody would have any room or right to gripe about him as a player and us signing him at this point. There are a lot, especially at the beginning of the season, there were a lot of people in the comments and on social media making fucking
get rid of him, get him out.
Yeah, he's what does he do for the club? He's a squad player. Everybody's a fucking squad player. Everybody in this squad is a squad player. Okay, the fact, and I said this in the last episode, the fact that he's been able to rotate into this position, especially a defensive position where he has been used to being an attacker for most of his career, if not all. The fact that he's able to fill in says a lot about him as a player. This is somebody we want to keep around for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe past his contract. We don't know. The evolution of him has not yet taken place. Who's to say he couldn't be the all-around player? Who's to say he couldn't be the fucking one of the best right mids in the fucking game? If Pep, really invests into him. I'm just saying, yes, he's an absolute stud of a player, and nobody should be dragging ass on him at all.
Nope, no slagging off of that guy. He's done everything you could want and ask for in a player for us. So
exactly. City and community news. That's it. There's not much else out there. Obviously,
not a lot of it, but very important stuff in there.
Yeah, that was the thick of everything that everybody needs to know. Like I said, like last week, we're gonna bro out with everybody in the comments. If you guys got like questions, whether it's pertaining to us as people, the podcast,
food, whatever,
literally whatever the fuck you want, you just throw it out there, and we'll waffle on about it for a little bit. I'll leave it, like I said, 7 to 10 minutes open. If I don't see anything, then fuck you too. We're going to get off here.
The only thing
Thank you to everybody that stuck around. Sorry, go ahead.
No, the only thing I had to bring up and gripe about a little bit was with wintertime in full effect and the springtime right around the corner for us and youth soccer about to rule our lives again. Our first tournament, Jordan's first tournament, her team's first tournament, they sent out, this is Jefferson Cup. It's a big showcase type tournament.
Yeah.
Nationwide one, big one.
Massive.
And this is just something to gripe about for the state of U.S. soccer. They're now offering insurance. You can buy event insurance in case the event has to be canceled. So you can now, how you can buy, like when you buy tickets for on Ticketmaster, you can get
you can get insurance if something happens.
They're now offering that for youth soccer tournaments in the event that the tournament has to be canceled. Or how about this tournament, people? Maybe don't be assholes and just give the clubs their money back instead of doing what you did previously, which is just hoard all of the money that the clubs have given you when you, as the tournament folks, decide to cancel said tournament. But now you can buy insurance, which you probably aren't going to need and not use in the event that the tournament decides to cancel because of weather. It's a shit show.
First the fuck of all, time the fuck out. 30 seconds. No, hold on a second. They play this game in fucking anything over there, and we're worried about weather here.
Mm-hmm.
Lightning, I get it. I do, to an extent. When I was playing baseball growing up, 100% got it. I'm holding a metal object in my hands. Probably going to get struck by lightning, right? What in the actual fuck does a fucking leather ball, whatever, with acrylic on the outside of it? How?
They are
Why are we not playing in all weather?
They are concerned about the playing surface because they don't want to take care of it.
Maybe if they would take care of their surfaces over here, not put AstroTurf at the bigger complexes and actually play it on a real patch of grass, we wouldn't have these fucking problems.
Yeah, but the fact that, because last year we played 2 games in the rain, shitty conditions, proper footballing weather over across the pond, if you will.
Yeah.
But because it continued raining, they canceled day 2 of the tournaments that were on grass field. So we only got half of our tournament in. You're guaranteed at least 3 matches. We only got 2 of the 3, so but it's just mind-boggling that to prevent you losing your money, you have to now buy purchase insurance that you're not going to get back if you don't end up using it. Like
Megan,
I just, bro, I don't
Megan, we're moving to England. This is bullshit.
It's absolutely crazy that this is a thing, and I got that email saying your team can buy insurance for this tournament in case we decide to cancel it, or just give me my fucking money back if you decide to cancel it before it starts. If it doesn't happen, and then you should just give the money back. This is not. It's just the state of youth sports, because this isn't like this is over here in America. This is not a U.S. soccer issue. It's a youth sports across the board: baseball, football, basketball, all of it, hockey, all of them. It's about making money as much as possible off of youngins. Yes,
they are
100% that.
It's been, but here's the thing, and a little history lesson, right? The monkeys have been running the zoo since World War II, and I'm not trying to rhyme. That's like,
that's my buddy Brandon. That Jordan.
Okay.
It's that Jordan and his daughter know each other and played on teams together. So he jumped in.
Did I meet him when we came down to play you
no,
guys?
Different different group.
Okay. Yeah, so little history lesson. Since World War II, 1934 to be exact, was the last time we had a truly successful league here in the United States up until the now late MLS, which started in the mid-90s. There hasn't been anybody to really run fucking shit. And I appreciate it. Come back and hang out. Maybe we'll turn you into a City fan if you're not already.
His son is.
Well, you're next. The focus hasn't been there, right? So now that we've got, and I don't want to sound any type of way, but I see what I see, and I'm going to be straightforward about it. There are a lot of libs that are running this sport and are not running it in the right direction, and haven't been for a long time. That's not to say that, conservative type mind has a better ideal of how to run the sport. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that there's a softness to the left than there is to the right. I'm not trying to get political. I'm stating what I see, because I see, especially over here, politics within sports. I have been an advocate in saying that politics does not belong in sports. It's all about merit. It's always been about merit. And because of that, I feel the sport has not evolved and taken shape the way that it has, and it's not just the sport. Again, it's youth sports. There is also this other underlying tone of narcissism that plays into this, because there are a lot of adults that are in youth sports either to drum up the old glory days that they had when they were younger and haven't moved on for it, or they are helicopter parents.
Seen both of those all the time.
Exactly. You see, and it doesn't discriminate in what sport it is, but you really, really see it in this one, especially here in the States. There's got to be a time where people wake the fuck up and realize that, like, in order for this sport to be as big as it is everywhere else here within the United States, we've got to start treating it with some dignity and respecting where it comes from. I feel is a good start. I hold on,
Steve. I have no idea. I have no idea where we would find those two gentlemen.
Right. Politics wants
Yeah.
to make a decision because too many people. Yeah, and everybody wants to have a hissy fit because nobody wants to talk anymore. That's a big problem. Nobody wants to have constructive conversations. It's I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm not hearing anything else. It's juvenile. The way that society as a whole has gotten and being able to facilitate a conversation, a healthy conversation, and have growth from the conversation, it's almost virtually non-existent at this point. It's as if we didn't have descendants that helped, sharpen the idea of what having a constructive conversation is about.
Mic drop.
I just, I hold a lot of this shit in, and not. I probably could be talking to you a lot more about it, but I mean, there are times when I do, and I go on my little rants, especially like over the past season with Aiden. I mean, you were the first person I came to. I was like, "Fucking you, sports, these motherfuckers." You know what I'm saying? But no, in order for it to get to any type of healthy place, both sides of the aisle need to see each other and recognize that there is something that one can take from the other and vice versa.
They need to listen to understand one another, not listen and wait for their turn to speak.
Right. Emotion doesn't have to play the ultimate or top proponent in how you go about your life.
Yeah, and Brandon, feedback is a thing. People don't see it that way. They see it as like you said, an attack. They don't think it as, you know what, let me hear what you have to say and actually analyze it a little bit and reflect on what you're saying. It's just, they hear it and it's like, you're just attacking me and my opinions and you're wrong and not, you don't want to hear me, when in actuality, they're the ones not listening to what the other person has to say.
Right. Right. And there are ways of us conveying those type of messages better, because there's a lot of times where it doesn't come off as an I statement, it's a you statement, right? So you're doing this, therefore, instead of I feel that you could do this and it changed that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, emotion plays everything. It can't be what fuels or drives the car, so to speak.
That's how people lead, right? Exactly. That's how nowadays people tend to lead with their conversations, debates, arguments. It's all from a place of emotion instead of.
Well, and people have also gotten comfortable sitting behind a screen that doesn't reflect who they are. Therefore, they don't have to deal with real life consequences if they go off the chain or out of pocket, as we like to say over here in the DMV.
That we do.
Right?
Listen to Colby saying, see, listening to understand someone. It's good.
Exactly.
Good, Steve.
It comes from a good, genuine place. I want to see her do good. And I think she,
has assets that could help the club.
Exactly. You pulled the word right out of my mouth, the asset part.
Yeah, that.
She bad, bro. She bad. Gotta throw your hands up to it. You guys got any cues that we can A?
That sounds dirty.
No, that was.
That sounds inappropriate.
Yeah, need some cues so I can get my A on.
What movie was that? There was That was a bit in a movie, and I can't remember which one it was. I want to say Jonah Hill was involved, potentially.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
like the salmon of Capistrano.
Oh my lord! It wasn't you.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
not today. Not today. Sounds like you've been juiced. Now that's a new vernacular. Juiced.
Elaborate
Cooked.
for us.
Yeah. Cooked, I know. My kid says that all the time. You're cooked.
Which is funny because you can say I'm cooked, or you can say I'm cooking, and they're two very different meanings.
Very different. You know what? Maybe it's our turn to have like these small simple words that mean like an action, and then they just mean something else for us now too.
I'm
like
gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start doing that around the house, and the girls will have no clue what I'm talking about, and then just totally flip it around because they talk all the time, and half the time I have no clue what the hell they're saying and what they're meaning behind shit. So I'm like, hey,
man,
our turn.
Somebody said skibbity last night at dinner,
bruh. They're on their devices playing games, and all I hear is skibbity skibbity. I'm like, is there anything more to this? Or are you just saying are you saying words? I can say words too.
See, and you know what? When the whole Sigma thing, I revert back to my time in high school, and I hear smegma in my head instead of Sigma. So Aiden says Sigma out loud, and I heard smegma in my head, and I was like, "How do you even know what that is?"
Whoa! No chance.
Right?
Dad, I said Sigma.
What do you
I'm a fan of those that color, man. I'm obviously have
more of a gold. It's like this gold.
Like that maroon. I guess is it maroon burger? Like what color?
To me, it's maroon.
Maroon, yeah.
To me, it's
Elliot
maroon.
kept calling burgundy. I was like, I don't know if it's burgundy or not, but
I
like those ones.
So.
Yeah, true. Yes. So I'm a fan. I like when we wear those ones.
Oh, brown because no, because Eddie was wearing white today, not the brown.
Yeah.
Smegma cheesy comment. God damn it, Steve. Looks like clay. It does. It looks like our red rock clay or our red clay here in America, doesn't it? It really does.
That's a good description, Brandon.
Well played, sir. Well played. See, they finally put the Oasis kits on 30%.
Mm-hmm. They've been taking turns on which of the four that they put on discount like for the past 2 months. So.
True. Did everybody see the new clothing release that City did today?
Those look slick. Those pre-match things, the jacket and t-shirt, the white t-shirt I really loved, but I can't. I don't trust myself to wear white tees.
Nope.
Because I know I will spill.
Even so, my gray Snobby Boy hoodie, it goes every week. Every week, I can't not get a fucking stain on the shit. Anything that I ever have that's a white color or a light color, I can't keep it clean. And I'm like so anal retentive about that shit too. Mm-hmm. I remember this one time, a little fun story from my childhood. My grandmother worked at Bloomingdale's in Boca Raton. So and she got massive discounts, right? So anytime we would go down to Florida, she would take us on like little shopping sprees. Well, I came home with this was when Tommy Hilfiger got real big back in the 90s.
I remember that. I had
right. Same. I had a lot. I even went and found some shit at Gabe's on the sneak and didn't let anybody know. But anyways, So my mom was she first of all, she loves to like just give my shit away, which always annoys me.
Facts.
She was the mom that like you would come home and your favorite lunchbox was replaced with something else without any conversation about it, just out, right? So, anyways, grandmother would take me to Bloomingdale's, go on these Tommy Hilfiger shopping sprees. Nautica too, because that was fucking big.
Yep, huge.
Right. My mom would give my hand-me-downs away, right? And I had this one white Tommy jeans shirt, and all it said was Tommy jeans, and then it had a big red star in the middle, right? It was a fresh fucking shirt. Well, she gives it to this family whom they're not so they weren't so well off. They definitely struggled. And she handed down the shirt to the youngest, right? Absolute fucking slob. Just he didn't care. He didn't care, and I cared, right? So he come. This is when I went to church when I was a kid. He comes to Wednesday night fellowship, and he's got the shirt on, and it is chocolate milk and ketchup stained to fucking shit. I kirked out.
Not acceptable.
In church. Not acceptable. I was like, dude, I just gave you that. You just got that. I was like, you know how much that shirt cost when I bought it?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, how much? I mean, this is the 90s. I was like, that was $45 fucking, you dickhead. Oh, well, yeah. I'm sorry.
That was back in the 90s.
Right? Exactly. $45 is like a $115 fucking shirt today. Yeah, dude. I don't know why I went on that tangent now. Kits.
Tangents are good.
Light colors, wearing light colors. That's why.
And staining them up. And then that led us to that point.
So now I'm going to have to order a black Snobby Boy hoodie.
It's a solid choice.
It is. I thought the gray one was a solid choice because it really, like, to me, the whole Oasis vibe really popped on the gray.
100%. Yep.
Right. But I might have to get a black one now. Also, there's going to be gear that we're going to be making for ourselves, like I said earlier. So there's going to be some cool shit that's going to come out.
Absolutely.
Through the year, but we ain't releasing it to y'all until there's demand. That's the only way it can work, right? So sit here telling you my secrets.
Telling you my secrets.
I'm telling you my secrets. I'm fairly certain that they were not bloodstains. It was ketchup. If you're talking about what I think.
Did it have his blood stains on it? No, like, did you beat his ass?
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I misread that. I'm retarded. I'm kind of retarded. Listen, here's the thing. I'm kind of retarded. Oh, man. All right. I brought the waffle maker out tonight, so.
That's okay. A little waffling doesn't hurt anybody.
Right. Anybody else? Oh my God, I wish.
How dope would that be?
If she's only wearing the sweatshirt, that makes it so much better.
Jesus.
Yes. We're fucking degenerates. I'm sorry.
Don't mind us.
Don't mind us. Don't mind us. All right, we're at an hour 48. That's a lot of extra time. So we're gonna get on out of here. It's been great hanging out with everybody. Smaller turnout than what we're used to, but all of our regulars are in here. Also, newcomer this evening. Thank you for hanging out with us. Super appreciate you guys helping us along. The numbers are getting better, which is nice to see, but they can always be better. So please, guys, help us. If you're on social media, please be following us. If you're not following us, go do it right now. If you are following us, please just fucking share the goddamn shit. Just do it. Won't hurt. Won't hurt.
Throw it up
Won't
on
hurt
your
you.
story. Throw it up on
Won't hurt you.
your
Just
feed.
helping us, right? Because honestly, if it was y'all and we were, if we were y'all and you were us, we would be doing. Honestly, all the boys we hang out with, because their numbers are good, they're able to monetize and are able to get tips and shit from followers and stuff like that. I've went and subscribed to those channels through the Snobby Boys. So you guys have seen me in here or in there talking with them. We support the fellows. We just need the reciprocity, and that starts with y'all. So please, snobby ass motherfuckers, do your part.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Share the shit.
Share the shit. Share it.
Tell your friends about us.
Tell their friends to tell their friends to get with our friends, so then we can
maybe we can all be friends. Yeah, see how that works. We're a fun time, man, and our chat continues to do its job. You guys are in here. It's gotten so much better recently with interactions between y'all talking to each other, talking to us. It's a fun place to hang out for an hour and a half. You don't even have to stay the whole time, but come check it out. Tell your friends, come hang out, talk to each other in the chat. All good stuff. All good.
I think the bro outs. I think the bro outs the best part. We just it'll get better. It'll get better though. All right, we out. I'm gonna leave you a little tunage. I think it's only right that this particular chant comes out this evening. So until Wednesday, where we'll be reviewing PSG. Deuces, y'all. To